What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we just got done with the EA E3 press conference. Um, EA it just doesn't quite get it. I think a lot with the EA press conferences. It's always just a massive letdown. To be honest, it's always a massive letdown. Um, but the biggest thing I wanted to get out of the conference was Anthem. Anthem was the big thing. I wanted to know more about it. When's it coming out? I wanted to see some gameplay, and we'll get into that in a bit. But the biggest thing is I wanted to know more. And honestly, I don't think EA did the greatest job of highlighting Anthem. I mean, they gave them the end spot, they gave them the thing, but the way they showed off Anthem and as itself, the game itself, was very cut, and it was all just sort of concept art. And they did a Q&A with the general manager of BioWare, the executive producer, and the lead writer of Anthem as well. And look, it was not a great way to show it off. It really wasn't. Like they showed us a cinematic trailer, which I mean we honestly, it felt like we saw more last year than we saw this year. But the Q&A did answer some questions, did tell things that we wanted to know. They did answer, so we'll go into that and everything. But I just wish that the gameplay itself was of better quality, and wasn't cut so much, and it was actually a mission. I felt like they could have used that end of conference time where they normally do like a Battlefield or a Battlefront game or something like that, like tournament with everyone playing, and you watch the gameplay and stuff like that. But instead this year I think they did like a FIFA thing. I wish they had done like a mission with Anthem, like showing off a 4-player co-op mission with Anthem, show it all off, see what, so people can see it, so people can understand what it's all about. But that's not what they wanted to do. So obviously from what we knew, we were thinking it's Destiny, but with Iron Man suits. That's kind of like what it was feeling like, and that's the sense that we've been getting, just from the things that we've seen. And even after this, I kind of feel that way. It's just, it feels like they might have a few things the opposite ways to what Destiny has. So they showed off the 4 Javelin classes. So Javelins are the mech suits that they're wearing, if you don't know. So you had the Ranger, which is kind of like, it feels like it's the multi-purpose. It's like the general, it's the basic one, it's the the DPS, like kind of good at everything type thing. It felt that, feels that way from what I've seen the briefly of it. Colossus, which is like the big tank, like Hulkbuster looking one, like that looked kind of cool with a big shield, and he's always carrying the big guns and stuff. Slow, but like the guy you put out front, definitely kind of cool on that one. The Interceptor, which feels like a fast, but maybe like a bit like a glass cannon. Potentially might be a sniper or something like that. Don't know, that maybe you can figure out your loadouts on that one. But definitely they tried to push that it was like speed with that one, because in the cinematic trailer it kind of swooped in and saved the Ranger that was there. Then the Storm, which looked like a mage, sort of like kind of like electromagnetic, like it had like lightning and stuff, kind of like the Warlock, I think, from Destiny. Kind of looked like that. It was sort of like hovering and all the rest of it. So maybe it could be a support type or a range sort of magic-y like one. But I don't think magic's kind of going to be in this type thing. So that was cool. I liked how they sort of showed the 4 of them off. They did go into also the cosmetic side with those things, because the big worry about this was it is EA, and what are their grubby little fingers going to do to mess this game up, sort of thing. They did say no loot boxes, and basically it will just be a cosmetic store. That if you want to buy the cool gold-plated armor, you can go and buy the cool gold-plated armor, but no buying power. There's no buying power. So that means there's no buying guns, there's no buying the best suits, there's no buying anything. You got to go out and play the game to get the guns, to get the stuff, all that rest of it. So there's no like pay to win or pay to get stuff element to it. It's all just, do you want a shiny sort of print pattern on your javelin or something like that? That was it. So that was the thing I was hoping to hear out of them, because they were always going to have a cosmetic store. There was always going to have a cosmetic store. I have no problem with them selling cosmetics. That's a nothing thing to me. That's something that you can choose to do, and you know when you buy it and all the rest of it. Like that's completely, your consumer choice. It's all like, do you just want to make yourself look cool? Do you want to look cool with your friends, and stuff like that? So that was cool. We also did find out that I think you may be able to have multiple suits. I think this is going to be a thing where you may have like a hanger, or like a thing where you'll have like, I'll take out my ranger today. And that's something that the first trailer from the last E3, when they, I think it was at Microsoft, because EA sold it up, basically sold off the thing to Microsoft to do the next day, when they announced it and then did nothing with it. So that was I kind of had a feeling that might be a thing where you can choose to be whatever class you want. You're not stuck. It's not like Destiny where when you create your character, that's it. That's your class. That's it. You're done. You can't really change it too much. So that's kind of cool how maybe you can maybe I want to take my my ranger out. We don't have this guy, so we'll take out my Colossus. Stuff like that. Which is cool, and that means that's you'll have to get you potentially have to get stuff for all your suits. So that's how I think the game loop's gonna go, is that it's go out, do missions, and maybe you'll focus on one suit, then you'll get another one and stuff like that. So yeah. The way that they describe the world itself, that it's not an MMO nor a multiplayer game with bits of lore bolted on, but it's rather a shared world intended to facilitate the kinds of narrative-rich experiences that BioWare is known for. From what it sounds like, I don't know if it's the way they describe that, when you go back to town, with Destiny, that you have the hub town, which is you see everyone. The way I think it's going to be is that town is yours. You don't share it with anyone. Your friends aren't walking around with you. When you go out on missions, that's when they see you. So the people and stuff. It's a bit like Monster Hunter World, where you have the gathering hub. That's separate. That's the only place where you see other people. But the town itself is yours. That's your one. Those NPCs talk to you. You don't have other people running around and doing stuff. That's just your thing. So I think in a way it's probably going to be more that way than Destiny. I think it's going to be more like Monster Hunter World than it is this. And the world itself gave me that Monster Hunter World vibe with the forest and stuff like that. It had a real thing, sort of cool look to it like that. And then when you go out on missions, I think that's when you can have, your buds come in, or maybe, I don't know if there is a matchmaking or something like that. I imagine there will be. Maybe it's like a lobby system like Monster Hunter World. I don't know. But just from what they've said, that, that town, that's the sort of stronghold that you have is yours. And the people that are in it talk to you, and that's how it works. So that I quite like that. I like how Monster Hunter does that. I like how that town is mine, and then when I want to go off with a group, I can. But if I want to play stuff solo, I can play it solo. And that's what they've said, that there's content for, to play. I think it's going to scale. It's going to scale for groups. It's going to scale for solo. But you should be able to play either or, I think. Which would be great. So you won't have to have, but the thing is, I would like to have dungeons. I'd like to have potential raids and stuff like that. I think that would be a cool thing too. I don't think, you should have everything that's solo, or only cooperative. And I mean, I'm more of a solo gamer anyway. I don't really play sort of cooperative games all too much, but I do like the idea of these suits and stuff and being in dungeons and things like that. Like that's the MMO, I guess, side of me on that. But yeah, so I think we need to I think the gameplay loop and the gameplay and the sort of the guns and stuff like that, I think that's gonna be Destiny like, but I think the world itself and the way the game world is, I think it's gonna be more like Monster Hunter World. I really do. I think that's how it's gonna work. And you go off on these missions and stuff like that. So and even the cinematics and stuff when they're talking, like, the guys talking to you and stuff, kind of gave me a little bit of a Monster Hunter World vibe too. So we'll see. We'll see on that. I mean, this is all just conjecture, just going off what these guys said, and very limited amount of time. So yeah. Apparently the game's main story will have key non-player characters, so NPCs, specific to the story and stuff like that, which is cool. I mean, it's a BioWare game, so that they gotta have some interesting characters running around. That's what always makes a good BioWare game. Apparently no PvP modes on release. None. So again, moving more towards the Monster Hunter World vibe than Destiny. Destiny very much centered around its PvP as well as its PvE. So yeah, maybe they'll come in later, but we'll see on that one. We'll see. But just by looking at the trailers, what we've seen of it, the flying looks very cool. The world looks very vast. The world looks very vast. They did talk about a dynamic world, so that means weather. I think things moving around and stuff like that. I don't know how random it will be. Maybe you might be able to it'll be quite similar every time you go out there. They did have big sort of world boss or world monsters that were there. They kind of took pot shots at it and then ran away, which was a little disappointing. I was like, man, fight it! Let's see some actual fighting with big, going up against these big monsters and stuff. But they didn't do any of that. They did show off a mission with these four, with the four of them, but it was so trimmed and it was all chopped up and everything, and it was so disappointing to see. It really was. It's like, can we just have unaltered, gameplay, just solid gameplay? Just show us what you got. That's it. But they didn't. They didn't. They wanted to sort of chop it all up, and the entire conference was like that. It was looping. A bunch of looping content, like looping videos and stuff that were weird transitions, weird ways of doing things, and it just seemed to flow through the entire conference that way, and it affected Anthem in the end as well. So I don't know about the way they did it, but I gotta tell you, from what I've seen of Anthem, I have a lot more hope for it. I really do. I feel like EA hasn't quite strangled it to death with its freaking we want money thing. I think BioWare is big enough to maybe keep them out of that. They're not going to let it happen. I mean, they already took a massive hit for Mass Effect because of Anthem, because they could not put their main team on it. They basically killed Mass Effect for this, so it better be worth it. It really better be, because the golden age of BioWare is done. The golden age of BioWare is done. They are not that shining studio anymore that could not do anything wrong. Barring Dragon Age 2, obviously. But they've had a lot of misses lately. They've had a few misses coming out of the blocks. It has not gone their way. So I really think they need to make sure Anthem is right, and I hope they do. I really hope they do. But yeah, I mean, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing. If it's more if it's a mixture of people were saying, oh, it's like Warframe and Destiny put together. I think you gotta throw a little bit of Monster Hunter World in there. I really do. I don't think it's purely Destiny. I don't think it's purely Warframe or anything like that. I think it's got that feel to it. It's got that Monster Hunter feel to it. And I mean, I'm a Monster Hunter fan, and I'm not going to compare the two. Like, it's not that way. But it's got that, you know, your world, which you can then go off and, you know, fight with a whole bunch of other people as well. And fight these big monsters and do these missions and stuff like that. I think the missions itself won't be monster hunting. I think they'll be like, you know, you got to kill all these, you know, these enemies and stuff like that. You know, fight big bosses and stuff. It'll be more Destiny-like missions, but a more Monster Hunter world, I guess, gaming world, where, you know, there's no hub world. There's no, like, oh, we can see all these guys running around. Like, there's none of that. I don't think there's going to be phasing in and out of people flying around with you. I think it's your world, or you share it with some others. That's it. I don't think it's going to have a whole bunch of people flying around. I don't. You're not going to be sharing this world unless you choose to share it. Whether that is with a lobby or not, we'll see. We'll see. But February 22nd, that's about 8 months away, so they have pushed it well back from what they thought. Like, I remember when it came out last E3 and people were thinking like February this year. She's a long way away from that. So another 8 months. I definitely need to see more though. I definitely need to see more. They need to very much be like Monster Hunter World, where they're releasing tons of videos of, like, you know, the monsters and the weapons and the thing, like the world and you know, everything like that. Everything, build it up that way. I don't think you need to save stuff. Like, obviously story stuff you save, but, you know, the facts themselves, the world itself, the things that you do, like the javelins and stuff like that, like, really push that. Show people this stuff. You definitely want, I think, maybe a beta or something like that too, to get people hyped as well. And I think they'll do that. We didn't get any things on that, but yeah, definitely that stuff. They need to build that up. But no, it's I'm definitely a lot less concerned with it now, I think. I'm concerned with the fact that we never got to see the mission in its entirety, the gameplay loop in its entirety and stuff like that. But I think that was just EA, with the way they were doing their conference. But yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to Anthem, and I'll be keeping a big eye on it. I really will. I just want to fly around like Iron Man. I think that's what it is. Like, that whole thing, like, they literally fly like Iron Man. They land like Iron Man. Like, the freaking, like, superhero landing shit and stuff. And the sound when it hits, like, it's pretty much blatantly that. But we'll see. We'll see when it happens. But yeah. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for us. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to be all over E3 as it's going. We're going to have some Battlefield 5 stuff from what we heard with the Battle Royale and everything. And then some other stuff that came out of the EA conference, and a lot of it is not all that good. So keep an eye on the channel for that. If you did like the video, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we'll be keeping up with the Anthem stuff, so keep an eye out. If you're interested in Anthem news and stuff like that, we'll be all over that as well. So keep an eye on that. But yeah. Alright, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.